first noticed something was wrong on a Wednesday morning. It was one of those slow, gray mornings when the sun barely pushes through the blinds and everything feels heavier than it should. I dragged myself out of bed, walked into the kitchen, and froze. My dining chair wasn't where I left it. I always tuck it under the table, perfectly aligned. Always. It's a stupid habit, I know, but it's mine. That morning, the chair was angled barely, maybe 10 centimeters off. Enough to notice, not enough to panic. I rubbed my eyes, convinced I misremembered. Maybe I was tired. Maybe I bumped it. Maybe I didn't care as much as I thought I did. But that was the first change. The first shift. The first warning. Night 1. That night, I went to bed thinking about deadlines, bills, work, normal things. Nothing ominous.
No paranoia.
No fear. But when I woke up the next morning, the second change was waiting for me. My bathroom door was open. I always close it before going to sleep. Again, habit. A small ritual that makes me feel like I'm keeping things in order. But that morning, it was open halfway. Perfect, deliberate angle. Like someone had opened it slowly. Silently. I checked the windows, locked. The door, deadbolt. Nothing was broken. Nothing was missing. But something was wrong. Deeply wrong. Night 2. I tried to ignore it. I went to bed later than usual, streaming videos on my phone until my eyes burned. I wanted to fall asleep so fast I wouldn't have time to think about the chair, or the door, or the quietness of my apartment at night. But the next morning, the third change waited for me. My mug. The same mug I used every day. Black, chipped on one side with a faded white circle in the middle, was on the counter again. I washed it the night before. I put it in the cupboard. I remember closing the cupboard door. I remember the soft click. But now it sat on the counter. Handle turned toward me, as if waiting. My heartbeat started climbing into my throat. Was I sleepwalking? No, I've never sleepwalked in my life. Was someone breaking in? Why would they open doors, move mugs, shift chairs? Why would they make tiny, quiet changes instead of stealing anything? That was when the fear began to simmer. Low, quiet, persistent. Night 3. I installed an app on my phone, a noise recorder. I placed it face down on my nightstand and went to sleep. The next morning, the apartment was different. Not in a small way. My entire living room layout had shifted. The couch, the coffee table, the lamp, everything had moved a few centimeters to the left. Not a lot, but enough that all the furniture was slightly off-center, like the room had been nudged. I felt something cold slide down my spine. The recorder app was still running. My hand shook as I tapped play. For the first few hours of the night, it was quiet. Just my breathing. The occasional shift in the sheets. Normal. Then
3:11 a.m.
a soft creak. Another. Then footsteps. Slow. Measured. Moving from the hallway toward the living room. Then a long pause. Then a dragging sound. Something heavy scraping the floor. And then a breath. Not mine. A long, quiet exhale picked up by the microphone. Too close. Too intimate. As if someone was standing right beside my bed. I stopped the recording. I couldn't listen anymore. I felt sick. Something was in my apartment. Something that waited until I slept. Something that moved things not randomly but intentionally. Night 4. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the couch with the lights on until morning. Nothing happened. At least not while I was awake. But the moment I closed my eyes around 7 a.m., exhausted, I drifted off. Only for an hour, maybe less. When I woke up, the apartment had changed again. My framed photograph, the only photo I kept from my childhood, was turned face down on the shelf. Not knocked over, not fallen, turned. I felt rage boil up inside me, raw, helpless anger. Who are you? I yelled into the apartment. My voice echoed. There was no answer. Night 5. That night I set up my phone again, this time with the camera recording. I propped it against a stack of books, aimed toward the hallway and the living room. Then I went to bed. I didn't expect to sleep, but exhaustion won. When I opened my eyes, the apartment was bright with daylight. I reached for my phone immediately. It was on the floor, face down, still recording. My stomach twisted. My hands shook as I stopped the video and rewound it to the moment the phone fell. Around 2:47 a.m., the hallway lights flickered. Once, twice, though they were turned off. Then a shape entered the frame. A blur at first. A shadow that didn't match any outline of a person. Tall, wrong, as if it was stretched vertically. Its legs, if they were legs, didn't bend correctly. Its head tilted too far to one side, like its neck wasn't made of bones. It moved toward the camera. Slow, silent. Then a hand entered the frame. Long fingers, too long, and with a single motion, pushed the phone over. The video ended there. I felt like my heart had stopped beating. My entire body trembled. This thing wasn't just moving my stuff. It knew I was watching. It knew I was trying to see it. And it didn't want to be recorded. Night 6. I didn't leave my apartment. I didn't go to work. I didn't even open the blinds. I sat on my bed, knees pulled up to my chest, staring at the door. At 2 a.m. I felt it. Not heard, felt. A pressure in the air, like the apartment inhaled. Then, creak, a soft shuffle. Another, closer. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. The doorknob to my bedroom turned. Slowly, deliberately, then stopped. Silence. No breathing. No movement. Just the cold realization that something stood on the other side of the door. Listening. Waiting. I don't know how long it lasted. 10 seconds. 10 minutes. An hour. When the pressure finally lifted, I didn't sleep. Couldn't. Night 7. This is the night I understood what it wanted. Not things. Not chaos. Not attention. It wanted the apartment. My apartment. Piece by piece, night by night, it was claiming it. Adjusting it. Making it comfortable. For itself. I realized this when I found the final change. My bed was moved. Not much, just 5 centimeters away from the wall. But that wasn't the part that terrified me. What terrified me was the handwritten note on my pillow. One sentence. Black ink. Slanted handwriting. You sleep better when the bed is centered. My blood turned to ice. Because that wasn't my handwriting. And because it was right. I did sleep better when the bed wasn't touching the wall. It knew that. It was watching me sleep. Studying me. Learning my preferences. Changing my home for me. Or for it. Maybe both. I'm not gonna sleep tonight. I can hear it out there now. Moving. Adjusting things. Preparing something. Preparing my apartment for a future I don't want to understand. If I make it through tonight, if it lets me, this will be the last entry. Because tomorrow morning, I'm leaving. I don't care if everything I own stays behind. It already belongs to something else. I can hear it again. Steps. Soft. Patient. Coming closer. It's almost at my door. I won't sleep. I won't close my eyes. I know what happens when I do. Because every time I sleep, my apartment changes. And one day, I think it will finish.